Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, this is a variety channel that covers a number of topics throughout the year. But today's video is going to be just sort of a recap of the year, a little what's coming up for next year, and then at the end, I'm going to do my best of sort of shit I like version for this year, which is just going to be a few pieces of media that I recommend for anybody looking for those kinds of recommendations. I know that the world is awash in content and sometimes it can be hard to find the good stuff. So I've got some recommendations for you at the end of this. But first, let's talk about this year a little bit. As you can see, I am shooting from a new location. If you watched a video I did a couple videos ago, you'll be able to get a tour of this space. I finally finished my lady cave studio, and so that has been the most exciting thing of the year. Also exciting, though a little inconvenient, was finding that kitten in my backyard, Boston, who came to me to teach me all about parasites and ringworm. And more recently, she's went into heat the second time, and I've never seen a kitten go into heat, and so that has also been a learning experience. In addition to her, which I was not planning, I got 5 cats in the house now, and then I ended up with 5 cats in the garage. One that had been there for the last 2 years, but then a mama cat moved in with some of her kittens this last summer, and now they live out there too. So I guess I have 10 cats now. I started the year with 4, and now I have 10, and yes, it is too many. At the end of this year, I put a couple decades of travel photography on a Flickr account that I'd had for a while. The link is in the description to those. The photography covers Egypt and Amsterdam and Germany and the Mayan Riviera and the Bahamas and a number of states throughout the States. So if you're interested in travel photography, just go down into the link below, or you can come and find me on Blue Sky where I can give you the link, as I have fully transitioned to Blue Sky now as my social media home. So if you're interested in following me on social media accounts, you can follow me here, please subscribe, or you can come over to Blue Sky and hang out where I get a little bit more mouthy and my content is much different than the content you see on this channel. One of the things I like about Blue Sky over there is you have much more control over your algorithm and who you're seeing, and they have many safety features. So that's a nice thing. If you're looking to move away from a more toxic platform, come on over there. The water's warm, the sky's blue, whichever. The other thing I did this year was start improving my website, www.withfrankie.net. I will be also re-photographing all of my paintings in the new studio space that's going to have much better light to work with. I'll be continuing to update that website throughout the year, so if you're interested in artwork or writing, I've got all of my it's kind of a portal to all of my creative pursuits if you're interested in that kind of thing. And speaking of reshooting my paintings next year in April, my house is being torn down and a new house is going to be constructed in its place, and that house is one that I designed on my own. I took my plans to a drafter who I've been working with for the last few months to get all the details nailed down. And yeah, the house is going to be torn down in April. And I plan on making a lot of content related to that to share everything I've learned from this experience, right down from the types of loans and that you might need if you were building a house or buying a house. A number of other things, including my experiences working with local builders and local tradespeople, which has been an experience. And then I'll be covering a lot of the process of the house building, and then the interior design, because I'm also doing all the interior design myself, which is already a lot more work than I expected. There's a lot of decisions to be made. If you're interested in house building content and you haven't subscribed yet, I suggest you do it now, because it's going to be a little bit different, I think, than a lot of the other house building things that I've watched. I do watch quite a few YouTube channels that have torn down houses or built houses or renovated places. And they usually seem to come at it with a lot more money, a lot more time, and a lot more resources than I am. So this is going to be, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an experience for me, and hopefully I can bring you some new things to learn. Anyway, so that's kind of that. You'll be seeing a lot more stuff being shot in this space as As I mentioned, my house is being torn down, so this is going to be my only secure place. And no, I have not figured out where I'm going to live while my house is being built, particularly with all these cats. More on that later. So now I'm going to move on to the best of stuff because I didn't want to keep you here too long. On my website, I have a favorites and recommendations page that I update every other week or so with great podcast episodes that I've listened to that I think people would find interesting, movies, YouTube content that I find interesting. And again, you can just go over to my website and go to the drop-down list on the left and you can find all the different kinds of topics there. But I wanted to point out some of my favorite things of the year, just to end this year on a really good note. But on a personal level, I'm going to go back and I'm going to talk about a couple of the things that I did on my channel this year that I thought was really good. In October, I did a second video with my dad for this channel. This video was about maple syrup trees in Minnesota. The previous one was about butchering chickens. And all that's involved in raising and butchering chickens. So if you're interested in those, links in the description. I really enjoyed making that video with my dad and then editing it. It was an experience. And the other content on my channel this year, if you're interested in cats at all, this was your year for this channel. There's at least 3 videos, one about idiopathic cystitis because my cat Baxter suffers from that. And next year I hope to have a follow-up video to let you know if the treatment that we've been doing has worked. And then, of course, the videos on the stray cats and the ringworm and all that I learned there. They could be pretty entertaining if you like cat content. So those were my own best of for my channel, I think, this year. So I maintain a variety of favorites and recommendations. And so let's talk about a few of my favorite things.
Brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things.
First of all, I wanted to talk about the best film/TV series because I don't really have... This year has been really difficult for me to focus on TV and film kind of stuff, but the one that came to the top that I really, really enjoyed is called The Diplomat. If you haven't heard about that, it's about an American diplomat in England and her experience there, and it's pretty good if you like that genre of TV series. But I'm sure if you like that genre, you've already heard about it. If you've watched it, leave me a note below and let me know what you think about it. I'd love to hear from you. Best podcast. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I use an app that tracks it, and this year I watched about 80 days worth of podcast content. As mentioned, a lot of times I do a lot of driving for my work, and I've been doing it for 10 years now, and so you can't just listen to music that much for 10 years, you'll hate music. And so I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I keep a list on my website, but the one I really wanted to recommend was a late shower this year. It's a podcast called The Daily Beans. It's a great way to stay caught up on the news in a really fun, snarky sort of way. The 2 women who produce it and run it are very, very funny. So if you're looking for a fun way to stay up to date on what's happening and to do it all in a very short period of time, I suggest starting your morning with The Daily Beans. The best of books. I started a couple books this year. One I'm going to finish. The first one is a little science heavy, but the one that I'm reading now is called Muppets in Moscow, and it's about the attempt to bring the Muppets to Russia following the fall of communism and all the struggles that were involved with that. And I'm finding it to be very, very interesting, both from just a logistical perspective, but also from a historical perspective. So that would be my one book that I recommend for this year. I hope I have a couple more for you next year. Now I just want to specifically talk about stuff on YouTube. And if I had prizes to give these people, I absolutely would. I enjoy my YouTube content just about as much as my podcast content, and I obviously have my favorites. First, I want to start out with the best of sponsorships. And if you don't watch too much YouTube, you may not come across enough of the sponsorships where they do a skit or something to introduce the sponsor. And I watch a YouTube channel called Evan and Caitlin, and they do crafts and all sorts of things. They've got a couple different channels, but their main channel always has the best sponsored ads that I never want to skip through. So I'm giving them my Best of Sponsored Ads award this year. Best of Music. I love music incorporated into YouTube content, and I have not found any better music being used than that of the channel of Jenna Phipps. She'll come up at the end and I'll talk a little bit more about her, but her channel, I don't know where she gets her music, but it is beautiful, and her channel is great too. So she gets my award for the best music used on YouTube this year. Best Outtakes is a channel called Technology Connections. He's sort of a science, electrical channel, and his outtakes are pretty good. He's a fun guy to watch, and so if you like science also, I suggest his channel. The Best of Fun Ways to Learn About Animals is a channel called Z Frank, and it is super fun to learn about weird things about animals with whoever's doing his writing and him delivering it. It's a very fun channel, and if you have older children, it would be a great way to teach them about animals. He gets a little, the humor can be a little bit on the adult side, so it's not meant for children. Best of Group YouTube channels is the Sorted Boys, Sorted, out of England. They're a group of 4, 5, 6 guys who've been friends their whole life, who teach about cooking both from a cook's perspective, because there are 2 professional chefs on staff, and then the rest of them are normals, which are home cooks. And they are great to learn from, but also great to watch the male companionship and their friendship over all these years. And I've been watching them for a while. I highly recommend it if you love learning about food from other countries, cooking food from other countries, snacks from other countries. They do a really, really great job of a well-rounded food education there. And then the best of the best. This is the last, and it is Jenna Phipps. Now, I like Jenna's channel because I started watching her because she was doing sewing and fabric work, and now this last year she and the man that she's seeing, her partner, tore down an entire huge mid-century house in Vancouver. Almost tore down because they're renovating it, but they almost gutted the whole thing, and now they're rebuilding it. And they're just 2 mid-20s, 20-somethings, maybe early 30s, just doing it on their own and with the help of just like a few people. And it is the most impressive thing that I've seen on the internet in a while. So I would highly suggest checking out her channel. Start from the beginning, because that house, before they tore it down, woof, makes my house look like a castle, which you guys will get a tour of that when right before it gets torn down, so that you can understand why it had to be torn down, because it's got quite a bit of damage, but nothing compared to Jenna Phipps's house. And I think that's it. I just wanted to get this video out there so I could say I had to put 3 videos on my channel for the month of December. This year has been very busy and very difficult, what with the ringworm and the sick cats, and sort of just a general lack of motivation. And I'm hoping that next year this new house build will inspire me, because I really want to share all the weird stuff that I've learned so far and the stuff that I'll encounter once I get started. I am co-contractor on the job. My dad will be the main contractor, but he lives pretty far away, so I am in charge of most of it. So I'm in charge of meeting with the drafters and getting the estimates and meeting with the tradespeople, which I've already started doing. I've been working on this project now for like 3 years or more. So it's finally coming to a head in 2025. And I'm terrified, but we'll talk about that another time. I guess that's it. If you made it this far, thank you so much. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. I really wanted to get to 1,000 subscribers by my 5-year anniversary on this channel, which is coming up in February. But I'm not feeling optimistic about it. But you could always help out by throwing a subscribe on there, watching some of my stuff, leaving me notes. Let me know if there's something you'd love to watch me try to do on this channel. So, let's go to 2025. Thanks for stopping by my video today. And as always, have a wonderful day. I'm talking a little fast out here. It's cold. It's 57 degrees in here. It's a bit chilly. I wish I could go over and get one of those kittens to show you because they're so cute. But I have to be very careful touching them because if I've learned anything from when I found Boston, yeah, I'm not gonna bring them in because since she's been on this property, there's been parasites, there's been ringworm, there's been fleas, there's been cats in heat, and I'm pretty sure you guys, I'm pretty sure that mama cat, I haven't been able to catch her yet to get her to the vet to get her fixed, and I think she's pregnant again. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Does anybody want any cats? I'll ship them to you.